And welcome back, folks. This is U.S. Home Talk, and we are live every Wednesday at noon Central Standard Time. Jason Walgrave here with Walgrave Real Estate Group and the Minnesota Real Estate Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We've got the great mortgage Michael Overson with Luminate Bank. We've got Evan, the great producer, the insurance guru. Marcus is off this week. He's on a board meeting. Sounds really important.
Sounds boring. But that's right. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good dad joke for the day.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Look at Evan. Gal, he can't stop laughing.
Woo, it's entertainment for Evan. Entertainment for Evan.
He can't.
Now, Marcus is definitely more important than Overson and I put together, so I'm sure what he's doing is very important. He'll be back next week. I was gone last week, rather. I took my son Theodore down to Laverne to see the folks. That's what he wanted to do for his birthday, so that was a lot of fun. So we had a good time down there.
God's country down there.
We went. Theodore he drove the four-wheeler, the motorcycle, the lawnmower, the tractor. May or may not have driven my truck around the section. And then we did some hiking, and we had a lot of fun. So it was a good trip down there.
Nice. They pulling the corn out yet down there? Probably not. Huh?
Not really. No, they're close though. They're close though. I would say next week or two.
Oh wow.
We saw some fields driving down there that they had started to, but for the most part, I think we're another week or two. So, but it's good. Fall. We're not summer anymore, man. Summer's over. Fall's here.
This week still feels like summer up here. We still got 80-degree days coming.
I know. Today's gonna be 80. Yes, so it's nice. It's nice because the days are warm, and then, like 6:30-ish when the sun starts to go down, the temp doesn't go down that much. Like last night, I think it was 71 degrees at football practice, but sun went down. There's virtually no humidity in the air, so it's nice and cool, and I love this time of year.
Yeah, this is great. I love fall, too. Probably the best weather. My favorite weather to be fall weather.
Yep. Me too. I love it. Folks, today we're going to be talking about why hasn't your home sold? You've got your house in the market. It's not selling. Why not? We're going to be talking about some potential likely reasons why your home hasn't sold. Best way to get a hold of us anytime, of course, is our website, ushometalk.com. Make sure to check out our website. We've got all of our previous shows. You can connect directly with all of our fantastic partners. Wonderful reports on buying, selling, investing, financing real estate. We've got market trends. We've got a lot of really great stuff on our website. We rebuilt it last year. I'm really proud of it. It turned out really, really nice. ushometalk.com. We've got a real estate hotline number. Folks, during the show, you can text in your questions, anything and everything real estate related, to 612-234-7585. That is the text line during the show. Not during the show, which is, the rest of the week. That is our 24-hour real estate hotline number. You can connect directly with Mike, myself, Marcus, Evan, and all of our great partners. So I keep that number handy, 24-hour real estate hotline number, 612-234-7585. And of course, you can ask questions in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube. We do appreciate, however, you are tuning into the show, whether it's live at noon Central Standard Time on Wednesdays or later in the week, all of our streaming platforms back on Facebook or YouTube or our website, Spotify, iTunes, all those great places. But we do appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and be sure to ask us any questions that you have, anything and everything real estate related. We're here to get those answers. If we don't have the answers, which is unlikely, it's unlikely we don't have the answers immediately, but if we don't, we will find that answer for you.
Yeah, I haven't not had the answer to someone since like 1977. Is the last time I didn't have an answer for someone.
Weren't you born in 78?
Yes, I was. That's how long it's been since I haven't had the answer. So, test me and Jason, put us to the test here, see if we can, help you out with the questions you got.
Get some answers. All right,
right,
folks, today we're talking about why your home hasn't sold. Number one on our list. Your home hasn't sold because your photos are no good. Might even be terrible. It is remarkable to me that in today's real estate industry, there are still photos that are poor. Just talking to a friend of mine, and he had some questions about a couple listings. He said, can you give me your thoughts on it? So I pulled up the listings. The photos are not good. There's vacuum cleaners in the photos. There's stuff on the counter in the photos. It is critically important to have the best photos that you can get. We hire professional photography. We do all high definition photos. We do drone photography. We do video walkthroughs. Folks, these are the first things. The photos are the first thing that any potential buyer is likely going to see. They might drive by and see the for sale sign, but 92% of buyers are spending their research online at all the different places that we market our homes before they even call their agent or they call us directly to take a look at a home. So the photos are critically important. It's little things like garbage cans in the driveway. We've had that before where we had the photos scheduled and it was garbage day, and so there's garbage cans in that front elevation photo of the house. We've got a company that we work with, Box Brownie, I think is what they're called. They edit photos. So in this example, we got to take out the garbage cans, or maybe there's a car in the third stall and it just didn't make it out of the driveway in time for the photos. We're going to remove those things because we want those first impressions to be the best impressions, and the photos they do that for us. And so that's number one on the list. That your photos are poor or even terrible.
Let's just face it, the MLS, Zillow, Homes.com, whatever, right? Wherever you're searching and looking for pictures of, homes online, those are really dating websites is what they are, right? You're flipping through, right? You're trying to find a date. You're flipping through. Are the pictures that you have going to make someone stop to be like, I'm intrigued. I want to set up a live date with that house to go look at it, yeah. Right? That's got to think of it. It's like, would you go on a dating website and put in a picture of you with, you just woke up, you haven't brushed your teeth, your hair's not combed, you're wearing your Motley Crue T-shirt, that's you've had since, for the last 24 years and it's stretched and it's faded and stuff. No, you're not going to put that out there, right? You're going to put your glamour shots, or whatever on the dating, because that's the best, right? Everyone's thinking that these photos are going to be the best this house will ever look, right? That's really what it comes down to. And
that's what you want. You want to attract people into the house. You want them to get to come in and look at it. And so,
right. Yeah.
That's a great analogy, Mike. I am very happy to not ever had to go on the dating apps websites. So I think that they're actually, I have a ton of people I know that are married that met on those sites. And I think they're awesome, but I'm also grateful that I didn't have to go on there. They weren't really popular 15, 20 years ago, or true. As popular as they are today. But very true. Photos are critical. One of the most important things, and it's the number one reason why your home hasn't sold on our list today. Number two, your property hasn't sold because it's overpriced. Folks, we have low inventory. We've had low inventory for a long time. 5, 7, 8, maybe even 10 years low inventory. It doesn't matter if there's low inventory. It doesn't matter if it's a seller's market. It doesn't matter if your home is absolutely stunning and beautiful and nearly perfect. If you overprice it, number one, you're going to have less showings. Number two, you're probably not going to get an offer, even if the buyer likes it. Sellers will say, well, they'll just make an offer. They'll just make a lowball offer. That's not really the mentality of most buyers in today's market. If a buyer's going out and they're looking at 8 homes, and 7 of them are priced correctly and one of them is not, chances are they're not going to pursue the one that's not priced correctly. So if your home is overpriced and it hasn't sold, it probably hasn't sold if it's overpriced. That's one of the main reasons why. You gotta price it accurately. not underprice it, but you got to price it to what the market says it's worth. That's why it's so important to have a top real estate listing agent representing you that you've hired. Make sure you know what their marketing plan looks like, and make sure that they have completed a fair market analysis on your home. The agent doesn't determine value. Owners, sellers, I'm sorry, you don't determine the value. The market determines the value, and that's based on comparable homes that have sold in, say, the last 6 months or so. That's what your home is worth because it's based on what other buyers have paid for similar homes. So important to price your home correctly.
If you're going to miss on price, if you're going to miss on your listing price, you're way better off missing on the low end versus missing going too high. You go on the low end, what's going to happen is you're going to get multiple offers, right? You get multiple offers in the house. Now buyers are like, what do I need to offer in order to beat the next person out? And they're trying to overthink it, right? And it's like, oh, we got to go 10 over list price, because it's they definitely listed it underneath what the market value is. And but the other buyer's thinking 10, so we should probably go 12. But is there one to 15? So maybe we should go 16 now because
16.5.
Right? And then it just starts going up, and it's like before you know it, you probably got more than what the I don't know, like the recommended list price would have been or something, however you want to describe it. So if you're going to miss on price, you're way better off missing low versus high.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Mike. And we have sellers that will say to us, look, we want to price it low. We want to price it low because we want multiple offers. That's the goal here, is we want to drive that price up as high as you can. I mean, there certainly is a little bit of risk to that. But we have sellers that they're very specific. I want to price it below market because we want to achieve multiple offers in this sale. So, why hasn't your home sold? We're talking about that today. Number 3 on our list, your home hasn't sold because it shows badly. What does this mean? Well, it can mean almost anything, right? Maybe you've got a 60-pound Rottweiler barking and drooling at the potential buyers from the filthiest child gate. Okay, so this is great, right? We've always had a dog, a family dog, so I love pets. Big fan of pets. Pets generally do not help the sale of your home. How does the home present when the buyers first walk up? And unfortunately, the dog thing, if the neighbor's dog is going berserk next door, that's not going to help you either. But control what you can control, and in this case, it might be your pets. Is the home clean? Is it decluttered? Two of the biggest recommendations that we make almost with every single seller that we work with: declutter, which is generally we're recommending you're removing anywhere from 40 to 50% of your personal items on the counters and on the shelves, and just too much stuff, right? And then the second thing is a deep clean, and hire a company, folks. I mean, we keep our house pretty clean, but there's things that we look past because we're there every day, whether it's, dust on the ceiling fan or even in the vents, or Mike, Jen, I know she's got an eye for dust on the baseboards.
Yep.
Dust on the baseboards. And so for some buyers, they see that and they think, well, this home hasn't been well taken care of. The current owners, they've neglected the maintenance on this house, maybe simply because it's only dirty. Two things you can do: declutter, deep clean. A lot of times we're recommending that you have the windows cleaned inside and out. Makes a huge difference. I mean, it makes a huge difference on how that home shows. So, it's number 3 on the list on why your home hasn't sold, is because it shows badly.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is later on the list here because I haven't seen the list here, but the other thing that goes with cleanliness are the smells. Mm-hmm. So are the smells later in the list here?
Let's see. Nope, but that's true.
Okay, so let's talk about smells, because that's actually a very big deal too. Yeah. It can be spot on, clean, everything put together, organized, right to a T. And you walk in there and it smells like a cat. It smells like cat urine. Yeah. Right? Oof. Probably a bigger turnoff to buyers than actually a dirty. They'd probably rather have a house that doesn't smell, that's dirty, than a house that's completely cleaned up and looks great, but smells like some sort of pet.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's the other thing you got to be conscious of. And when you live with pets, right, you don't smell your pets. right?
Right.
It's kind of
You
like
get
your
used to
own
it.
BO. You live with your BO, you don't smell your own BO, but other people do, right? So you got to be careful with that. If you have pets, have someone come in there, which your real estate agent will help you with that. If you have a stager or a cleaning company, help you with that. It's like, hey, does this place smell? And do I need to do something about it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. It is, the smells are so important. Some buyers have they have very sensitive nose, right? Smellers, I call them. And
Smellers.
smellers. So the three things that we're seeing most of that are an issue: pets, pet smells. Whether it's dirty pets or I feel like any type of pet urine is a that's a tough one, right? Whether it's dogs or cats or whatever it is. So pet smells, cigarette smoke. This one is a monster deal killer for most buyers if they go into a home and we don't see it very often anymore, but there's a handful of listings every year that we have where the owner, they smoked in the house for many years, and it's you can get rid of that smell, but it's a pretty significant process. I mean, it's, at the very least, you're painting walls and ceilings and removing all the flooring, and in some more extreme cases, you're removing baseboards, or you're repainting baseboards and doors and everything, cabinets, and so that's another big one. And then the third biggest one when you're talking about smells is cooking smells, and food smells, and whatever that is. If it's something that's strong, whatever the odor is or whatever the cooking style is, that's probably not going to help the sale of your home. So your scent is a big indicator on whether or not a buyer is going to like the home, not just what they see but what they smell. So It's a great point.
Definitely don't be steaming any broccoli right before a showing.
Oh my goodness, don't do that.
Or cook eggs.
Or cook eggs, yeah. Let's cook eggs and broccoli. We'll have that, and that's where we're gonna, instead of cookies for the buyers, we're gonna leave out broccoli and eggs. So, all right, number 4 on our list on why your home hasn't sold. Because it's invisible. Today's buyers come from the internet almost exclusively. The last stat I read was over 92% do their home search start online, and it's not out there. And maybe you only have 1 or 2 photos. Our marketing plan, what we do for our sellers, is within 24 hours of hitting the market live, we're going to put you on over 2,000 home buying websites, all the big ones, Zillow and Trulia and Homes.com and Realtor.com and Remax.com and all of them, right? And so the way to sell your home for the most amount of money in the quickest time is about a marketing plan that achieves exposure. And so we want to expose your property to the most potential buyers that there are, and that's through an extensive and proven marketing and advertising campaign. So if your home hasn't sold, you got to ask yourself that question: is my house invisible? Where is it and where is it not? You gotta be out there. Exposure is key to achieving the highest sale price.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the MLS system, a lot of data is collected with that. You can track how many eyes are on your house, how many people have favored it, hearted it. Because if you have the traffic, right? If you know that you got the eyes on your house, but you don't have the traffic, right? We don't have the showing requests. We don't have the offers coming in. Like, we know, we can see, we've got in the metro area here, we've had 1,000 people see this house on the MLS, the pictures and stuff, but we're not getting the amount of showings and stuff like that. Well, then it's like, hey, your marketing plan is working. The people are seeing it, but there's something they're not liking. Is it the price? Is it the this? Is it the that? Right? And you can kind of analyze that data. But number one, if you don't have people seeing it, you're not going to sell it, right? So that's number one. No. You got to get the exposure out there.
You got to get people in the door. You got to make sure your property is visible to the buyers. Number 5 on our list of why your home hasn't sold, because your listing is tired or stale on the market. What's that mean? You got to figure out what your local market time is. In the Twin Cities metro area right now, we're right around 40 days on average for average market time. If your home has been on the market 60 days, and like Mike said, you've had very few showings. You're not getting a whole lot of activity or people in the door. Well, why? Why is that? Do you need staging? Do you need a price improvement? Do you need to, do you need to switch up, the photos? I mean, what's going on that your home hasn't sold? I mean, if there's certain things you can't change, right? If you're on the interstate, or if you're on a busy road, or you have some, unchangeable characteristics, well, that's fine. But that's a big reason why homes don't sell, is because they've been on the market too long. They're stale. Probably because they were overpriced to begin with. That's the other big risk of overpricing your house, is that it now it's on the market 30 days or 45 days or 60 days, right? And then a buyer's looking at it going, why hasn't it sold? What's wrong with it? And so that is number 5 on the list of why your home hasn't sold, because it's tired and stale on the market.
Or the other thing too, with market time, it's like, oh, this thing hasn't sold for 60 days. We're going to offer less.
Yes.
They're probably getting a little desperate to sell it now, or they're
desperate.
They're a little more motivated now. So let's lowball them and see what happens. Then you get that type of buyer coming in the door, right? Which obviously you don't want, but
no.
Overpricing just can be a dagger in so many different ways.
We're talking about why your home hasn't sold. Number 6, because your home won't appraise. Now this is, when I think about this, when I think about, Mike, some of the properties that we've helped both buyers and sellers over the years, maybe they've got this really fantastic property, but it's out of town a bit. It's on some acreage, and it is a beautiful house, and it has, maybe it's got an indoor pool, and it's got outbuildings, and it's exceptional, but there's no comps. There's no comps for many, many, many miles, and that can scare away some buyers. Especially, I mean, if the buyer's cash, it doesn't matter. But most buyers are not. There's financing of some sort. They may look at that property, talk to their agent, talk to their loan officer, and they determine, I love the house, I want to buy it. There's no way this is going to appraise. That might be why your home hasn't sold.
Yeah, you get some exceptional houses out there, right? Like there's nothing like it. There's buyers out there that like that type of property, right? Man, there's nothing like it. It sticks out. It's unique. It's just exactly what our style and everything is. When it comes to an appraisal, an appraiser's like, there's nothing like it. This thing sticks out. There's nothing else to compare it to. I don't know what type of value I can slap on it, because there's no market. There's no market out there, because something like this hasn't sold recently or hasn't sold within the area. So how do I put a value on something like this? Can be a little tricky at times, right? Yeah. So again, the people with high down payments or the cash buyers, that typically is not a hurdle. If you're going in there and putting minimal down and stuff, well, then that appraisal thing definitely comes into play.
Yep, it comes into play. Folks, talking about reasons why your home hasn't sold. Number 7 on the list, because it's unavailable to show. So, we recommend to our sellers to make your home as available as possible to buyers, agents, and buyers. And so we know that that's not always possible to make it available all the time, but the more restrictions that you have on showing your home, the tougher it'll be to sell. We get, I'll give you an example. Last week, we had a new listing hit the market. Thursday morning, the seller wasn't quite ready. They wanted to straighten up a few things, and so we got a showing request at noon. I think we went on the market at 10 a.m. So the seller was like, I'm not going to be ready. Can you ask them to come at 4 o'clock? So I called up the agent. I said, hey, they're just not quite ready. Can you guys come at 4? Buyer's agent said, actually, my buyer's jumping on a plane to London at 2, and he'll be gone for 8 days. So I called the seller back and I said, here's the situation. What do you want to do? He said, let's make it happen. So he approved the showing for noon that day. That was the buyer that bought the house. That was the buyer, and Mr. Buyer is still in London today. But if we hadn't made that accommodation, if we hadn't, approved the noon showing, they wouldn't have gone in. And then he doesn't come back for another however many days, and we would have potentially lost that opportunity altogether. So I know it gets tougher on rental properties, right? I mean, if you got renters in there in Minnesota, you got to give a 24-hour notice anyway. So, there are potential challenges, but the more available you can make your home to show, to potential buyers, the better you're going to be, the higher, likely higher sale price, and likely less market time being on the market. So very important.
Absolutely. If they can't see it, they aren't going to make an offer on it, right?
Nope.
You got to be able to physically go in there, right? Sometimes buyers, a lot of times, just walking in the front door, right? You get that feeling of this is the one, right? And sometimes they walk in and be like, nope, this isn't the one. I don't even have to look at the rest of the house. I just don't get that feeling. But they have to physically, again, they got to physically be in there to get that feeling, right? And buying a house is emotional. Selling a house is emotional. We know that there's emotions involved. So getting those people into the house, get them there for a physical showing, show off the product, make magic happen.
I've seen some crazy showing restrictions. I mean, we're talking like you look at a 7-day week, and okay, you can come Tuesday between 2 and 3 p.m., and then you can come Friday morning between 10 and 11 p.m., and no weekends or nights or any other time during the week. Like, oh my God.
How am I going to sell this thing?
Never going to sell. Never going to sell. But we talked through it. Folks, talking about reasons why your home hasn't sold. Jason Walgrave here with Mike Overson. Best way to get a hold of us anytime during the week is our fantastic website, ushometalk.com. You can connect with both of us, Marcus, Evan, all of our fantastic show partners. We've got all of our past shows on there as well. And you can ask questions anytime. Our real estate hotline number is open 24/7 for anything, everything real estate related. 612-234-7585. 612-234-7585. Today we're talking about reasons why your home hasn't sold. Next on our list, oh, this one's good. Your property hasn't sold because you have the heat and or power turned off. So Minnesota, right? If you've got a property in Minnesota, you don't have the heat on and it's wintertime, it's very unpleasant. If a buyer's walking through a home, not having a comfortable temperature set is critical, because they're not thinking about the house. They're thinking about that they're cold, or maybe it's the summer and it's 90 degrees in the house. All they're thinking about is how hot they are. So having, or, in Minnesota, I mean, it starts to get dark, pretty quick here, right? And so not having power on, not having heat or AC on, is a big reason why homes, if they haven't sold, that can be one of those reasons. So it's got to be comfortable. Just think about if you're going, I think about, some stores that I go into at times, and it's too hot, right? I feel like I run hot anyway, so probably not the store's fault. But if I go into the store and I'm uncomfortably warm, you think I want to stay in the store very long? No, I want to get out. I don't want to buy anything. I want to leave, right? And so that's just, stuff. If you're in the market to purchase a home, that can affect how you feel about that house. So make sure that the heat's on, the AC is on, and the power's on.
Absolutely. Lighting's a big deal. If it's dark, if it's dark and just drab looking in there and stuff, the house isn't going to show how it should show and how it can show. You know what I mean? And so lights are huge. And like you said, they're just the temperature too. I mean, there's times where I've gone on a showing and it's so cold in the house. It feels colder in the house than it does outside.
I have to.
And it's probably because you go outside and there's some sun, so you're getting some of that radiant heat, and you go in the house, there's no sun, that is no heat in the house, and you're like, did it get colder? Like, how is it colder inside this house right now?
Feels like a refrigerator, like you're going in a walk-in refrigerator, right?
Yeah, like a meat locker, You don't want your house to feel like a meat locker. Trust me, not when you're trying to sell it.
No, you do not. You do not. Folks, we're talking about 9 reasons why your property hasn't sold. We've got one left on our list. If you'd like this full list, go to our website, ushometalk.com. You can connect with us directly. You can watch the entire show and all of our past shows. You can send us emails, messages. We've got a real estate hotline number, which is 612-234-7585. 612-234-7585. Last on our list of reasons why your home hasn't sold, you hired the wrong realtor.
Yep.
You hired the wrong agent. Folks, it is, if you look at the entire United States collectively, approximately the top 20% of real estate agents do approximately 80% of the business. Okay. And so when you're selling your home, one of the largest assets of your entire life, it is critically important to hire a top agent or team in your market. Hire somebody that has experience, has a proven successful marketing and advertising campaign in order to sell homes for the highest amount at the quickest time. Everybody knows a realtor, right? I mean, everybody knows a couple dozen realtors, but you owe it to yourself to hire the best in order to achieve. Most sellers' goal is to sell their home for the highest amount in the quickest time, but you owe it to yourself to hire the best in your market to do that. And ask those agents when you're interviewing them, what's your marketing plan? How are you going to sell my home? Tell me what that looks like. And it's one of the reasons why it's on this list, why your home hasn't sold, is you hired the wrong realtor. Folks, go ahead.
I was gonna say, the real estate agent that you hire, I mean, they should know that list. That's going to be stuff that they're actually going to talk to you about, right? Because they're going to talk to you about their marketing plan. They're going to talk to you about not limiting showings. They're going to talk to you about how important it is to have your house not smell like your pets. Everything on our list. If that agent that you're interviewing isn't talking about those things, you probably got the wrong agent.
Right? That's a great point, Mike. So when we sit down with sellers, we've got a seller listing presentation that we do, and it goes through in detail our marketing and advertising plan and how we sell homes. And then we also provide sellers with a home seller's guidebook. And it goes through, here's what we got to do to get your home ready for showings. Here's what we got to do to get it prepared for the sale. Here's what happens after the sale, before the inspection, after the inspection, the appraisal, the closing, all of it, right? And so, I mean, there's a lot of detail that goes into selling your house. But if you're teamed up with the right agent or team, that process should be a lot less stressful for you. I mean, one of the biggest compliments that we can get is when we're sitting at the closing table with either a buyer or a seller, and they say something like, "Oh, that was easy. That was way easier than I thought it was going to be." And it's like, yeah, we did it. We did a great job. It wasn't easy to get it done, but if you felt like it's easy, that's a part of one of our goals, is to reduce the amount of stress when it comes to buying or selling a home.
Yep. I love that. Because you always hear the stories, right? Most of the time, people are going to share stories of like, "Oh, you guys never imagine what we went through to sell our first house." Well, we did, it's this and that and the blah, 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 right? You hear those, you get those stories, but how often do you hear man, we thought it was going to be like this, and we literally signed 15 sheets of paper and then made a couple of decisions along the way, and the next thing you know, we were at closing, right? Boom. If that's what happened, if that's what your experience was, then you hired the right team. You hired the right agent. You hired the right team around you, because that's how it should be.
That's how it should be. I agree 100%. Folks, we do appreciate you tuning in today. Jason Walgrave here with Walgrave Real Estate Group and the Minnesota Real Estate Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Mike Overson with Luminate Home Loans. We got Evan Little, Paragon, our insurance guru, and our producer. He's the one that makes this thing happen every Wednesday at noon Central Standard Time. Marcus Walgrave with Hague Realtors will be back next week. Folks, I hope you have a fantastic week, and thanks again for tuning in.